Influence is something we're all using every single day, whether we even realize it or not. But here's the thing. It has two faces, a light side and a dark side. One builds trust, and the other just shatters it. In this explainer, we're going to dive into how to master the art of ethical persuasion and, just as important, how to spot and protect yourself from manipulation.
It really all boils down to this one simple question, doesn't it? We've all met those people who just inspire us, who make us feel seen and understood. And, well, we've probably all met the other kind, too, the ones who leave us feeling kind of confused or maybe even used. The difference between them? It's not magic. It's a very specific set of skills and, more importantly, intentions that we are about to decode together. All right, so first, let's look at the positive side of the coin. This isn't about just winning an argument or always getting your way. It's about something much deeper: genuine, ethical persuasion. A skill that's really rooted in our shared humanity. Let's be really clear here. True persuasion is the absolute opposite of manipulation. It's the art of finding common ground. It's about understanding, it's about connecting, and it's about aiming for outcomes where everybody wins, not just one person. At its core, it's a skill that helps everyone grow. This quote right here gets to the absolute heart of it. I mean, think about it for a second. Without trust, all your logic, all your data, your most brilliant ideas, they just fall flat. They mean nothing. Trust is built on being reliable and being real, not just being a smooth talker. It is the absolute bedrock of any real influence. So how do we actually build that trust? Well, it really comes down to these three pillars. First, and this is huge, you have to listen. I mean, really listen, not just wait for your turn to talk. Second, you build trust by being consistent and transparent. People need to know the real you. And third, empathy. You've got to tune in to where someone else is coming from, their feelings, their fears, before you can ever hope to connect with them. Okay, and now we pivot. We've seen the art of genuine connection. But to really, truly understand influence, we have to look at its shadow. We have to be willing to stare right into the abyss of manipulation and control. This is where it gets pretty chilling. Because for some people, those pillars we just talked about, empathy, trust, trying to find a win-win, they aren't rules to live by. Oh no, they're weaknesses to be exploited. Welcome to the world of the cold, calculated manipulator. This quote just perfectly nails the mindset shift. For an ethical person, empathy is real. You feel it. But for a manipulator, any show of emotion, especially something like remorse or guilt, it's just a performance. It's a tool they use to get what they want. So remember, don't ever mistake tears for the truth. And this comparison just breaks it all down, doesn't it? The difference couldn't be more clear. The persuader is looking for a win-win. The manipulator, a win-lose, every single time. One uses authenticity to build real trust. The other uses a fake charm to gain control. One wants to connect. The other, well, they want to conquer. So how do you actually spot a manipulator? You got to look for these red flags. That charm that feels just a little too smooth, a little too superficial. A really chilling lack of any real guilt or empathy. They're masters at twisting facts to make you feel confused. Watch out for those big, dramatic, emotional displays that just feel forced. And, of course, a long history of blaming everybody else for their own mistakes. Now, you might be thinking these two types of people are from different planets or something, but they're not. And to understand both, the good and the bad, we have to go deeper. We have to look at the fundamental laws of human nature itself. And this right here is the absolute key. Everyone, from the most inspiring leader to the most toxic person you can imagine, is running on the same basic psychological software. The difference is all about awareness and how they choose to channel those deep primal drives. If you can understand them, you can master social dynamics. The author Robert Greene gives us a pretty powerful map here. First, the law of irrationality. Just remember, a compelling story will almost always beat a spreadsheet of data because our emotions are in the driver's seat, not logic. Second, the law of narcissism. Look, everyone has self-interest. The persuader works to align their goals with others, while the manipulator just exploits that self-interest. And then you've got the shadow laws, envy and aggression. You have to learn to see them because a smile can easily hide deep resentment or hostile intent. You have to watch what people do, not just the performance they put on.
And this quote points to the real starting line for navigating this whole complex world. Before you can even begin to accurately read other people, you have to be brutally honest with yourself, understanding your own emotional triggers, your biases, your vulnerabilities. That is the first and most critical step. Self-awareness beats self-delusion every single time.
Okay, so that was a pretty deep dive into the theory behind all this. But how do we make this knowledge, actionable? Let's build a practical toolkit you can start using in your daily life, like right now.
So here's a simple breakdown. In business, it means looking for solid character, not just flashy charisma, and always, always aiming for those win-win outcomes. In your relationships, it's about setting firm boundaries. You can't engage with emotional blackmail. And for yourself, the work is all internal. It's about mastering your own reactions and actively cultivating genuine empathy.
And for those times when you're facing manipulative behavior head-on, you gotta switch to a defensive strategy. Document important conversations so facts can't be twisted later. Observe actions, not just words. Do they line up? And always, always pause before a big decision. Ask yourself this crucial question. Am I reacting emotionally or am I responding wisely? And finally, protect your own energy. That might mean limiting your contact with people who are consistently toxic.
When you boil it all down, influence is a tool. That's it. It can be used to build incredible bridges or to burn them to the ground. The real power isn't just in spotting the patterns in other people. It's in consciously choosing which patterns you will live by yourself. The choice, as it always is yours.